Babity me. Alistair Nelson TV on TikTok, Alistair Nelson TV on YouTube, Alistair Nelson TV on Facebook. And I pay say unya nsuo bi num ya. Na no apɛ X mineral water. Wa num bi. Sɛ nya me ba be num bi akyerɛ me. Yo, me da say. Isu papa. Last week, me ne mu di nkɔmmɔ bi ɛfa nsɛm bi a na ɛkɔ so. Ati nsɛm bi a na member of parliament for Old Tafo Orasifo a onenam a okeka ɛfa owura atoboaten ho ɔyɛ finance and administration deputy CEO ɔno ɔhwɛ sikasɛm so ɔno ɔhwɛ cocoa board administration so. Nsɛm a na ɔka wɔ conflict of interest me kyerɛkyerɛ mu ɛkyerɛ mu nyinaa sɛ nsɛm a ɔka nyinaa mu hu na mu si ne huu ebi asɛm no bia grind ni hɔ a ɛyɛ nokorɛ nsɛm a ɔka nyinaa yakɔyɛ research ɛho sɛ owura atoboaten he gave off his shares in Atlas Commodities which he founded in 2018 before taking up the job in February 2025, and then he resigned his managing directorship and handed over to somebody else to take up that interest before taking up the job of finance and administration at the cocoa board as deputy CEO. Mr. Chiremu said he has the capacity, the capabilities and competence to revive the cocoa board finances and administration because why be that baby why be that Liga partners to me boy companies akesi a na omo to form Ghana Cocoa Board kra wa boy empay maybe a nanado we managed to raise $100 million to buy cocoa on one kasani company that time no Atlas Commodities no, he was able to raise his own seed money of $2.8 million to help buy cocoa for his company. And he has the skill and knowledge. He has done it in the past. So he's most suited for the job. Now buy no better say kabi wo hono. And no could be a cano so na make say a car da hona ya could be so na dane gogome sebi. And no na a hand crofru be a wet tia monaso. Any decisions o might take you wa. Almost say omo mfa cocoa no chiche free under the new buyer system no. Now cocoa companies no here cocoa for cocoa processing no. They had to pay 60% deposit. And then from the 60% deposit on pickup, they pay the 40%. Now companies need be person who bypasses our rules way. No more cocoa ni free. No more processing and no more betua. A bit free we kura no more processing we are almost say among the cap. Now shall somewhere some papa. Into buy our best stop us and your ma way na supplies and then go ye supplies bonny. Omo koto ade 1 cedi. No more beton 10 cedi. Omo koto ade 5 cedi. Omo beton 50 cedi. Ni nyina no. Wabe blocking ni nyina. Or the reform say baho na cocoa board etumi e save sika na otumi e boa cocoa akuafo nti ye nkrofo bi ya wakotia enan kese so e na omo asoma me pese me de to orasifo anim say olamfo allegedly the suma no I have evidence against him, and at another time I'll come and deal with that issue. And ora no so head PBC now did na no ato asem no mu bia obo ora to boatin din no me pa kire ne say no so olamfo ene ejira na che omo pia no. Because we are Olamfo Ejuma Pen as regional manager for Bron and Tamale and Northern regions, and as cashew manager, we are Juma Maolam, and now a PBC manager. And PBC, Washeda at the assembly to Ra to Boatin so Ra to Boatin company. I know we give you of shares in Atlas Commodities, AUSU warehouse of PBC. They have an agreement with them to use it. They have an agreement. It's written, it's documented, it's there for public consumption. More so, Ratubatin is not in charge of the LBCs. The deputy CEO in charge of operations, Dr. Kutiati, is the one in charge of managing the fortunes of the LBCs in order to see whether their books are clean. That he recommends them for seed money. Until the allegations just concocted on my sheda and on one no person with the good papa no fin because papa na ba all she ye pa ebe makoko. Isika sem na aye basano esiye na kokko akuafo na omode omo awon de do kokko no omo nya ho mfaso enti se uti sansem no fasa owura no ho owura to boaten ho a munsi omo hu wa bene na opepa na osompa so opese osom ne mai na die enti a na sen MPP for kokko toss a me pese mi kire mu no eya ban a your friend the Ghana government ono to kokko mu ana oti kokko so. In recent past year, we put up a certain loan system which we call the syndicated loan system near the Tokoko. Because now how a cocoa system no monitor say yɛtum wɔ odwaman so a ne yɛnya advantage yɛte so nso a disadvantage no nso no sɛ ɛbɛba yɛkuafo no so we put up a syndicated loan. It is syndicated loan no my guaranteed price throughout the season until there was stability in the pricing system. Until makoko ekuafo during mid season no your plans on bɛyɛ no na yɛnsesa da. Until na saying then ɛbaɛ ɛsi o Ghana aban a ɔte so yɛ John Mahama wama cocoa price about 41,000 per ton and about 2,587 for 64 kilogram bag for the remainder of the season. Season no na say 50,000, $55,000. So time no any 36,000 per bag, 3,600 per bag. And no matiso abase. Now this represents a reduction in the previous price of 3,625 per bag, following a decline in global prices. TSA yen Ghana no your cocoa pricing no, it depends on the global prices of the cocoa. Cocoa no so answer na be free ha kono. Se nya eko do ship na no pe. Sa price no mo de man the free your friend free on board price and now beti you can FOB price. Ya do cocoa na ya sili ya grade ye na aso an ya do ship no mo. Price no mo to no. Sa price no ne de calculate the global price Emma Ghana cocoa ekuafo and no bi ne yetima cocoa ekuafo. Na producer price review committee no omo adjust the balance in the global market conditions to support farmers. Se sanyo money ba. Inti yehu sa na yeti cocoa stabilization fund to ho. What you are saying maybe a trem so that we'll be able to give the farmer fair compensation while stabilizing the industry and promoting value addition. Then a buy MPP for ya any gu no omu gu no ye no nso no omo anko tranchen ubebisa say sa international cocoa prices na wa adwama so no what influences it to me price I wo ho yentu me mani nyina afemu ni nyina na say afene kodu ba bia yese yate so say kodu ba bi so a yatum yese factors bi nyoma bi ene masa nyoma ni si nti Ghana cocoa for pese moti sa system na se what affects the global price of cocoa. Now, say will be a cocoa to no ba. Let the person know you are educated, you understand the issues in cocoa, and you ask the relevant questions in order to push them back. One, you see supply and demand, the global production and consumption trends. Say cocoa na yediano, senya yebesi ape no. Say ni dodo yebesi ape. Any dodo to me dia ba edwama so no. And no ko one to go and affect the price. I want international marketing, which is the global price, and no na buy shesu no amamu farmers ne wa no percentage. Apart from that, weather patterns, say climatic conditions, say the ebe makoko na so ye nsuo to ewie ebe bo ni inframa ebe bo no sa nyoma no. Say weather conditions in major producing countries. Say omo dua cocoa. To say Cote d'Ivoire. To say Venezuela. To say Singapore. To say Guinea-Bissau. No. Dear Bekoso, efa omo weather no mu. The rainfall patterns, their sunshine patterns, their wind direction patterns. Ni ade no. Eno ne betre cocoa dodo ebe free sa nkronkro no so aba odwama no so. Enti se dodo ama na te se price no bekoso. But se dodo ba your better price no so. I feel the afraid be speculative trading. I feel cocoa na so and so. You better say you be here saying last year processing you know my call drama so do say near toy then a car. Into no so can be a friend speculative trading. I'm on moto cocoa no. Into so sa speculation no more yeno. See a better than ne and I 20 ton china and I 20 ton 2 weeks no. And no so can be any a shifty sa global drama so. Price na the cocoa no. And I feel they are buying policy interventions and what producing countries to say interventions na NDC and their basis sia no I be boa cocoa ekwa no e be need dey o si sia no because of the volatility volatility yeti wa na dey na boom to say bomb price wo ho 7,200 you beti na boom na ba $4,200 price $13,000 you bet sorry na pa na boom until your friend the price volatility and no aban ti so sisia no person or stop sa nyoma no na anko affective farmers na farmers na ɛwɔ hɔ no ɔmo ntumi nya fair compensation for what they do. Na farmers na ɛwɔ hɔ no will be encouraged that the farmers will receive at least 70% of the gross FOB price adjusted at exchange rates, and then there will be price stability. There will be cushions for farmers from the global price fluctuations. Sir, abai nhyehyɛeɛ na ɔde ba no, that there will be increased earnings. Sɛ koko ekafo no benya sika no dodoɔ na aba ɔmo bottom, aba ɔmo adwuma na ɔmo yɛ no mu, so that they will be encouraged to do the work. Afidie nso no, there will be transparency. Say pɛpɛɛpɛ yɔ ne obi kae sisie biara ni cocoa pricing no mu no aban the one the friend automatic adjustment formula. Saa formula yi na bɛ hwɛ for fair compensation. See ebetua mo kɛyie mo cocoa epiafo no say percentage aban de bɛ hyɛ parliament mmara no mu no ɛno na obedi so. Emiri bi atwa mu ne etua 12,000 wɔ adwama so nso ne ema mo 22%. Sisie kɛseɛ saa de ni nyinaa pɛsɛ stop no afidie pɛsɛ mu nya price stability ti sɛ na yɛwɔ guaranteed price system over the syndicated loan system no. This automatic price system will allow for the price stability. Sɛ cocoa no short ni enim sɛ yɛbɛto so a enim sɛ farmers will benefit, and sɛ cocoa no so bu so na ɛkɔ dwama so ne eni so sɛ farmers no yɛbɛte so a will come with a cushion mechanism in order to cushion the farmers. And all can cocoa grafon no so benya sika go bottom afide sɛ ne America no price no ɛbɛyɛ international edwama no so nti yɛtumo yɛte so cocoa grafo uti wafuo mu kra wobetumi ehu sɛ yes yatum to a yatum no 70% uti wafuo na calculate kra wonim dia aban de bɛma wo na nko yɛsisi asɛm ande ama wo. Nti saa cocoa sector reforms no kana cocoa grafo mesremo ɛno na sɛ mo mama ni die tire. Sa automatic adjustment formula no aban de ba no ɛna sɛ mo ma mo mpanimfoɔ te aseɛ na mo ankasa mo te aseɛ cocoa board form esra mo na mo nkɔ na mo ni farmers no ɛnko di nkita ho, because it says Ghana cocoa sector reforms aim to stabilize the industry to ensure fair prices for farmers. The most important items include mandatory local processing from 2025 to 2027 season. A minimum of 50% of all cocoa beans must be processed locally, promoting value addition and job creation. Promoting value addition and job creation. And then a buying person processing 50% of the cocoa. There were companies bebre were Ghana how use cocoa no at the yoma bebre there were Barry Calibod, there were ho no free zones. There were Olam, and also ho ADM, and also were folded about to attorney the machines ama Olam. There were Tuton, and also ho there were Ecom, and also ho there were Cargill, and also ho. Omu here cocoa all year round. But esan say you call into fixed forward contracts under the previous purchasing system, syndicated loan inti. Na cocoa amu here they are processing all around. No munya. They were not getting it. Into amu producing maybe at quarter or half capacity. And then a buy say one or revive PBC under this mandatory local processing. Na processing to PBC to me to cocoa no do not their mass CPC, the cocoa processing company. And also you are buying there and also processing cocoa. What will happen is that when we go into the processing of cocoa, that industry, which is the processed cocoa industry, values over $102 billion. Cocoa beans and no value is just $6 billion. But when we go into the processing and we process 50%, we'll now be engaging in the $102 billion cocoa processing industry. So we'll be able to expand in the value addition to create jobs for our people, our young people, to be able to earn within the cocoa sector in this same country. So our companies now, in the time past, we boom within Barry Calibod, Tuton, Cargill, Ecom, ADM, Olam, now munya cocoa all year round. You know? Now they will be able to get cocoa all year round to produce and process for the markets. After the new financing model, no, the outdated syndicated loan, no, new buyer model, buyer-led model now MPP for Dubai and so into buying the full fraba and also a domestic cocoa bond to improve the liquidity and timely payments for farmers. That is what is introducing the automatic adjustment payments in the cocoa sector and a matrimony and a domestic cocoa bonds, no, a flow to bonds those bonds will be issued by the cocoa board. It will be on the balance sheets of the cocoa board. Now, omo cocoa ni via, omo ton cocoa ni via na cocoa no sikane ba. No mo di sikana koto bebia omo ji cocoa bonds ni sikano. Now mo di interest na ka ho ni di tua omo to bonds no. Na aban etumi a continue cycle no. Na omo to bonds no so etumi anya ho mfaso. Aban say he will be able to raise between 11 million new Ghana cedis and 12 million new Ghana cedis for the year, which will amount to $1 billion. After the Ghana cocoa board did dada no so no. Obe converted dada cocoa ekuafo no. Obe converted Ghana down into legacy debts. How the better cocoa board to restore equity and strengthen cocoa board's balance sheets, or the better legacy debts. Obe tu ane kakra. Automatic price adjustments in Sumaka is introduced an automatic adjustment producer prices based on the world market trends and exchange rates, guaranteeing farmers a minimum 70% of gross FOB price all year round. Then after the revival of PBC and CPC in Sumaka wasem and only your money there. The government has a stake in the cocoa marketing and processing. And maybe we set up PBC and CPC not today. But under MPP for no, under Joseph Wainedu no, gunu basa. And by we see or revive it so that the state will still have an interest in the cocoa sector. Na media maka a dream pa ekita a buy way ewo cocoa sector no. And nothing the ama me de manu atum na omo cocoa stores no under MPP no omo maka kire mu omo ye cocoa ekuafo na nanom 1954 Kwame Nkrumah ye to cocoa price mu world market mekoso aka. And they went round to incite cocoa farmers against the government of the day. So that time, near independence, but now Kwame Nkrumah party CPP winning elections had no war power in 1951. It was a leader of government business, de facto prime minister. Almost they formed the political party, the National Liberation Movement, and contested Kwame Nkrumah in that election. They lost. They won only 1 seat in the legislature out of 38 seats. Look at what they did to do. They destroyed the cocoa sector, even payment in cash. Over 12,000. They couldn't even pay you 25%. They were paying you 22%. NDC for no, they call parliament under the cocoa bill. Now you to be insecure pricing no. 70% at all times of the FOB free on board. The market was a cocoa no. Ya dey go for ship no. Ne bono no. And no ne FOB no. And no ne buy pressure so no. Their mamu 70% no. Every year ya dey go share mremu. Sa buy be about on to me sisane da. After the payment in kind under MPP, fertilizer near the insecticide near the spray machines. Never he. No more tongue. They were selling it aside. And that Joseph Wahedu. It is sure more. A buying way will not do that. We'll make sure the fertilizer gets to the farmer timeously. We'll make sure the spraying machines get to the farmer timeously. We'll make sure the insecticide and all that we'll have to make the best agronomic practices, information sharing with the farmer, extension officer work and other things. No, Cocoa Health and Extension Limited for no, cocoa for no money under a regime. We love cocoa farming. We respect the cocoa farmer as a political party. Inti cocoa for me say me pamocho me sremu. Omo mu di cocoa toss na ti MP for no munsi omu hu. Omu nim say and yet we don't have control over the pricing of the international cocoa when we take it to the market. It is the global prices. Ma chiremu nyoma affected prices no. Ma bobo biso chiremu. Ma can't weather of the cocoa growing countries. I've told you about global demands among other things. And I'm at so say, you know what brings it about it. It's here. It's a person recap so that you understand. Oh, you can out to say no, and yes, I buy no any down and no asheda and no the oil and say what is so no fesicano. No, I buy no because of the CN or Numponu Wakushimu Munsha Bijan for they produce more than us. And they produce 45% of the world produce. But they are not able to pay their farmers. They are paying for the same 64 kilogram of cocoa, 1,220. We are paying 2,587. And no misera buying cocoa board. So share na LPC Bianco exploit cocoa farmer bia basa anyo manua. They should pay the right prices. Na me die minim say Ghana buy under John Dramani Mahama, cocoa board leadership under Ora Randiabe, Ora Tubuatin, Dr. Kutiati, and Dr. Francis Barr. Any chairman of Uswampofu who is board chairman, they are focused and do not be pried into temptation of the MPP. They've always come on the back, riding on the propaganda on the back of the cocoa sector. Yet when they get the opportunity to come to power, they will not think to make the cocoa sector a better place like John Mahama has just put out. Say you be processing 50% of our cocoa. Do you know the implications for job creation, value addition? Do you know the implications of earnings for the national gross domestic product and gross national product? Please, we're on the right path. Cocoa Galam say, aye, cocoa growing in Ghana. Next week, me ba and no American wasem and how government, through other laws and other means, is trying to prevent it so that we'll be able to sustain cocoa farming in Ghana. It is through the cocoa farmers enterprise. And here, baby, I want to know. Setete kwashi ankofa cocoa na ma. Na Ghana cocoa kwafo anjimu ansum na generations upon generations ya anti asie ando cocoa na mbedu pempenso we a anka cocoa donu egu tumuma yensom so how be ho aye nyina yensi nkonia yenka yin free ho na cocoa kwani no no owo na fuom as o work and crown nya snake serum say onya baby papa mda na kwan nyina asai so yare onya hospital papa bi nkonia di cocoa clinic nyina esi krom no eno yensi hu nkonia yenka na cocoa kwafo wo Ghana no omuntumi ndi omo ho no mfa omo to mafam amfra mitia Ghana fo nyira mitia cocoa kwafo nyira medamase ne momre amodia atiemi